Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. I'm Tim Sohn here, hanging out in the woods with Sohn Social Media Solutions. How are you doing, Jim, with the brick wall over there today?
I'm doing very well. I have to remember which way to look, depending on
Yes.
where we are on the screen, and really excited to have the person below us with us today. And we're going to be talking about getting started with live video for your business with none other than Julie Riley of StreamYard. And how appropriate, Tim, we've got a little bit of StreamYard swag going on.
Oh my gosh. What a coincidence. We just happened to have it lying around.
Happen to have it lying around. And I got my little Puddles friend here. He's listening in. Now, I don't know, is Puddles a he or she?
Puddles is a he.
Okay.
There is a Mrs. Puddles. So, or Miss, but yes.
Ms. Puddles, right?
Yeah. We got his cousin back over here. Let's see.
Okay.
I can never get the pointing right.
But yeah, no, Tim, it's an exciting day because some people may not know, but you and I are now in a book, and it's not like being booked at a police station. We're in Ross Brand's new book, 100 live streaming and digital media predictions. And so really excited to be in that. It's released on Amazon. And tonight at 6 over on Dealcasters Live, we're going to be having a launch party with Ross, and Tim is going to stop by and say a few words. So really an exciting day. So it's appropriate too, because I think StreamYard has a lot to do with that. Ross has been a big part of StreamYard's growth as well. And so, but Ross isn't here today, but Julie is. And so excited to have Julie here joining us. And so, Julie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am the social media manager at StreamYard. I've been with StreamYard now since November. Super excited. And when we say since November, that's like in ancient terms as far as this goes, because we have been moving fast and growing fast. The team has grown immensely, and we're excited for all of the fun things that have come. But I got started in social media in 2007, at the very, very, very early days of, kind of getting rolling with it, working for a Harley Davidson dealer and getting them started with their very first digital footprint. So that was really exciting. And then kind of getting to roll with that and getting to build upon where I started with e-commerce and the eBay days, and then growing it into making a full career out of it.
That is amazing. And now let me ask you, Julie, because you said Harley Davidson. Do you ride Harleys?
I do.
Wow.
So in a past life, I actually went to school to work on Harley Davidsons. So I went to the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Orlando, Florida, and I started in like their t-shirt shop, working there while I was going to school, worked in their service department as a service writer for a while. I actually never worked as a mechanic, even though that's what I went to school for. Then rolled into their kind of accessory sales side of things, and then over into all of their e-commerce and their digital side. So it kind of took a weird transition going to school for mechanics. and ending up here.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, kudos to you. That's amazing. I couldn't do that. I mean, I think it's more because, well, it's funny. My dad was a machinist, and I have to call someone or go to YouTube if I want to figure out how to fix something. So now I know that if I have issues with the mechanical stuff, I might have to call Julie Riley because she's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Now, do you still like to tinker with mechanical stuff at all? Do you like play with your car or?
Not as much. So my husband is an aviation mechanic. And so he builds airplanes. And normally now I just let him take care of all of it. I'm like, here you go, honey. Go ahead. He's still more current and fresh. I'm out of touch with it. So I just hand it off to him.
Nothing wrong with that because you're definitely very busy. So
Yes.
Tim, are we ready to get started with
Tim.
the questions?
I'm ready. Let's rock and roll.
All right, Tim. So I'll let you start with question 1.
Yes. So, Julie, when should a business start doing live video?
Yesterday, at least. But yesterday's passed, so we can't do yesterday. So now it's not too late. And really what you want to do is figure out where your audience is spending the most time and start there and start getting comfortable. Build out a plan, create your kind of strategy and go, okay, what is my business? What am I going to talk about? Who am I going to be talking to? How am I going to interact with them? Because you want to remember that you don't want to make your live show just a buy me, neon flashing sign, sales billboard. You want it to be this conversation and this engaging piece that people want to come interact with. And they can be shopping and buying while you're doing that, but you have to make it organic and natural and comfortable to where people want to tune into that.
That is, yeah, and I think that some of it is just people, I don't know, they just keep trying to push it off, right? Like, oh, we'll do it later, we'll do it later. And I think that they're missing out on a great opportunity. I mean, like we're live right now. We've got people on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Apparently, right now, Facebook's having issues from what I'm being told in the dashboard. So if you're on Facebook and you're seeing us, please let us know. But I have a plan, Tim, after the show that we may try because Facebook is since Facebook's not cooperating, I will say has been an odd duck, no pun intended. When it
the
comes
ugly
to
duckling over there.
yes, when it's been coming to live streaming lately, I know a lot of people have been having issues out there. But yeah, no, I think that's a great point, Julie, and I think for me and Tim as well. I mean, we've almost now next month is 3 years that we've been doing this show. But if we had not gotten over the fear of live streaming, I don't think we're sitting here today. Would you agree with that, Tim?
Oh, definitely. And I think it gets so much easier just once you get through your first live stream, right? Like once you show up, every time you show up. And I think also when people from your community show up, so like when you're going to go live, let people know, send them a link when you're going to go live so they can show up and support you. And then when you see them in the comments, I think that makes it so much easier, right, Julie?
Oh, so much easier. Well, and the thing is if we all look back at our first streams, we all go, oh, dear God, I put that out there and people may or may not have watched that, but it was painful. It was awful. And it's okay. Because at the end of the day, you're human and you're getting started. And if you're open and authentic and say, hey, guys, I'm getting rolling with this. So bear with me. I'm going to learn. You're going to get a chance to learn from me, but I'm also going to get a chance to learn from you as I get better and grow. Be willing to accept feedback. Be willing to ask your audience for feedback. What did you like? What didn't you like? What can I do to improve? Because that's going to only make you better. I say always go back and watch your early streams until you're really comfortable and really good. And even then still go back and watch them every now and then. You'll catch things you're doing. Now, I always hear, but I hate the sound of my own voice. So there's actually a term for that, and it's called voice confrontation. And everyone pretty much hates the sound of their own voice. And it's the way we hear it inside of our own head is different than the way other people are hearing it. So you just have to get past that like super cringe, oh my gosh, that's awful. And I can't stand hearing myself moment to listen and learn, because you're going to get better. You're going to go, oh my gosh, I talked through that way too fast and nobody could understand what I was saying because I was really nervous and really, really fast. So then you'll start to hear that and you'll go, okay, I need to slow down and I need to talk a little calmer. I know I talk with my hands. I've been told that it, drives some people nuts. That's one of those things though that makes me comfortable, and I won't probably end up changing. But you'll also start to hear your filler words, the so's, the ums. So is my bad one. And I try to work on that. I try to slow it so I can hear myself getting ready to say it and stop myself before I say those. And that all comes with practice and time.
I think those are some great points, and I joined Toastmasters about 2 years ago, and so it's okay, Julie. We actually like to see you use your hands when you
Movement.
talk, and of course, somebody was talking about too, like when you put your hands out like this, that actually builds more trust than if you're
Mhm.
keeping your hands down. And so it's little, I guess what we call those nonverbal communication.
Right.
I think that's another thing that even on a live video you can do. And I think the other thing about live, and I think it's gotten even more important over time, is people like a live video because, like, if we make mistakes, it's like, hey, these people are real. They're just
Mhm.
like me. And you're right. I remember many, many years ago, my friend and I, we would like, sing Kiss songs on cassette tapes. Those were a thing for some of you that don't know what those are. And you listen back, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand my voice. But I think I've gotten used to it because we do so much of this and listening back that it's not as bad. Where I
Mhm.
think before I'm like, oh, I can't stand listening to my own voice. That's funny though. I didn't know there was a term for that.
Yep.
What about you, Tim? Do you
Yeah.
do you not like to listen to yourself?
I don't know if I don't like to listen to myself, but I'll admit that I have not watched many previous shows before. I'll admit that. I will.
All right. That's your homework, Tim.
That's right.
I have
Yeah.
homework. I'm writing it down.
Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no,
What
that's
about you,
really
Jim? Have you watched many previous shows?
I have watched some of them. I watched in fact, like I said, we put on our Facebook page a while back the very first episode, and that's
Yes.
as Julie would say, probably cringeworthy. We've come a long way. And even when I watch our intro video, just even the way we've changed, where like we all now are wearing in-ear monitors as
Mhm.
opposed to wearing, as we like to call it, the cans, and it makes such a difference in how you look, how you feel. I think we're both. I think you're standing now too, right, Tim? Or are you
No, I'm
sitting?
sitting.
But you have a good chair that's hard to see. Where I'm now standing, where I
Yeah,
used
you
to
can see
sit,
mine.
and that changes your energy level, standing versus sitting. And that's one of the things I learned by you know going through Toastmasters and speaking. And I think it's one of those things we can always improve, right? It's the whole, as you know, Tim, I like to say, getting better 1% at a time.
Mhm.
um and yeah, and Julie, I have never really noticed, you're very good speaker. I've never really noticed any of those things that you talked of, the so's and
Lots
stuff.
of practice.
That's right. That's right. Um, so then, are you ready for question 2?
I am.
Awesome. So I said that. There you go. What are the social media fundamentals that apply to live video?
Oh, I like that one. Okay. So, see, so it comes out every now and then. There are things that you can really break down in these fundamentals and go, where am I going live and who am I talking to? And am I going to make sure that I have a good cover photo? Am I going to make sure I have a good intro? Am I going to promote the video beforehand? And where am I going to promote it? So, using Instagram stories or your Instagram feed, Facebook stories, LinkedIn stories now. Twitter Fleets is going away or is gone. I don't know if it already left. I haven't been over there to check this week. Um, but your Twitter feed, are you creating just still images? Or are you creating a quick little video that says, hey guys, I'm getting ready to go live. You should join me, with your phone and doing it that way in your story? Are you tagging your guests and making sure that they have an opportunity to share it or to like it, to get it out to their audience? So these are kind of all those beginning fundamentals of the content itself. And then going in and going, okay, did I go to YouTube? Did I optimize that video for YouTube? Or afterwards, did it just go out into the YouTube world and I'm going to hope for the best? Because that's a whole nother strategy, is getting your keywords in, getting your SEO descriptions, and really treating that almost like its own blog piece SEO content, and getting all of that format. Where are you going live? Are you going live in your Facebook page, your Facebook group, or your Facebook profile? Because each of those pieces are going to have different elements of how you're talking to everybody and how you're interacting. Because, if you have, say, a link you want to share during your show, if you're going live in your group and you share that through, the dashboard, it's not going to share to the group. You're going to have to remember to go back separately and share that over there. So it's kind of all of those going, where am I at? Who am I talking to? What am I putting out? And then breaking it down into your pieces. I like to say, create a run a show, give yourself a checklist, because it doesn't matter if you've done it one time or 100 times. There's going to be that day where you were busy, you were rushing, you were, the kids were annoying you, the internet crashed right before you were going live, and suddenly you're like scrambling to get it out and you've missed half your steps. And so by having that little checklist that you're just, even if you're just reading through it each time and going, yep, 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 yep. Okay, we're good. We've got everything in place. That's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and I love too how you talk about the tagging, everything, and that applies to all social media stuff, right? It
Mhm.
is. It's the whole fundamentals. How are you engaging your audience ahead of time? We're engaging with these folks now. We're sharing it on the screen. Tim is, commenting in LinkedIn because at this point, we're not allowed to comment through StreamYard
Right.
yet into LinkedIn, and so these are all, I think, really important things that we need to be aware of. And something that we've started to recently do, Julie, and I don't know if it's something that StreamYard would like us to talk about, is using .live redirects.
Yeah.
So like we've got timandjim.live. If you go to that, it takes you to our YouTube channel. With the Amazon show dealcasters.live, it takes you to our most recent episode. So if we're live, it takes you right there.
Mhm.
Because sometimes, like, I think one of the complaints with Facebook is once that video
I
has
know exactly.
happened, where did it go? Right?
Yeah.
It's so hard to organize. And of course, I know people are always wanting Instagram to be a place you can go live with great platforms like StreamYard,
Mhm.
but I don't know, maybe someday.
We're at the mercy of Instagram on that one. And I just don't know if they'll ever change it. And it's going to create an interesting dynamic if they do, because they're vertical and
Mhm.
we're landscape, or horizontal on everything else. And so creating that format change is going to be the most difficult piece of that if they ever do implement it with any of the third party tools outside of their own app. Um, and yeah, using that redirect is a great way to get people exactly where you want them to go in order to see those videos. I know we tell people all the time, because Facebook has created this duplicate post system, and we wish we could get rid of it. I know we always get people going, why do you create that? We're like, we're not. That
Mhm.
is Facebook, and it's happening with any of the tools that you use. But we tell people, send people to your facebook.com/ your page name / live. And that will at least take them to, same with like where you can send them straight to your live video on YouTube or your most recent live on Amazon. It will do the same thing where it'll take you to your most recent live on Facebook, and at least give people a way to promote, to get people there without saying, okay, I made this post, but if I shared the post that it made, that's not actually the post that's going to go live.
Right. Yeah. And we do have a question from Nancy. I don't know if we would have an answer yet, but will we be able to download comments along with the video at some point?
Right now, that is limited. The platforms don't allow those comments to get pulled in with the download. And so it's something that we're looking at and trying to figure out if there's a way, but right now it's an API limitation.
Okay, great. That makes a
Great
lot of
question,
sense.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's another question is, how do we get our most recent live on Facebook?
Yeah. So for instance, StreamYard, you would go to facebook.com/StreamYard/live. So you would just replace the StreamYard with whatever your page name is. Now, if it's your personal profile, I don't know if there's, I'm going to be honest and say, I don't know if there's a link that would take them directly on your personal profile, but on Facebook pages, it would be facebook.com, your page name/live.
That's good to know. Yeah, I think with personal, unless something's changed, that was one of those things like I don't think there is a way to download it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you almost well, that's where, that's why you get the paid version of StreamYard where you can download your
Yes.
file. Uh, there are software programs that will allow you to screen record where you could screen, but that's why, I mean, unless if you're using StreamYard, why even go that route? It's just as easy
Mhm.
And the
to
quality is
do.
not going to be as good.
That's a great point, Tim. Very, very good point. But yeah, that's the problem, I think, and that's why I don't always necessarily want to go live to the personal profile.
Mhm.
And then Julie, I was going to ask you this question. Can comments be brought in though from your personal profile, or is that another API limitation?
They can be. There's some settings you have to go turn on, and we actually have a help article. I don't
Okay.
have it memorized on how you get to the settings, but there's some settings in your profile you have to go turn on in order to get the comments to show up.
Okay. I don't think I had mine set up that way, but
Yeah.
that's something good to know. And now is that on the website for StreamYard?
Yeah, so if you're on our website and you go to our help section, then I think if you type in personal profile comments, maybe
Okay.
I can find it and give you the link and share it. We can share it afterwards. But yeah,
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, yeah, so far this has been some great stuff, but we're going to take a moment to hear from our friends at StreamYard, and then we'll be right back.
And we are back. We are back on the Tim and Jim show with our amazing guest, Julie Riley from StreamYard. What a coincidence. And we're here talking about how to get started with live video. So where do we go from here, Jim?
Well, we will go with question 3.
I don't know. I don't know if I can come up.
Tim, it's your turn to read.
Yeah. So Julie, and I don't know what your answer is going to be for this, but what are your favorite tools for live video? I can't imagine what one of them could be.
Wow, it is definitely StreamYard. But you know what? Here's the thing. It was StreamYard before I worked for StreamYard, and that's why I went to work for them. I was already in love with the tool. I've been live streaming since 2015. So at the very early days, there were a few earlier subsets a couple years before that, but I consider that kind of really the beginning days, the Meerkat, the Periscope, getting started there on your mobile devices, being able to go places, the Blab. Um, Rest in peace, Blab. And so, that's really where I got started. And I've loved live video. So StreamYard is by far my favorite. Then aside from, that, other tools that I really like are tools that help simplify my process, whether it's creating my backgrounds and my overlays. So either using Canva or Easel. I've used Canva for years and recently really started swapping over and playing with Easel more. There's a lot of features. There's features I like about both, but Easel's kind of been my go-to recently. And then Agorapulse is my post-show tool because that's where I can go in and manage all of my comments. Guys, let me tell you, managing comments for live video can be really difficult afterwards if you want to make sure that any of the ones you didn't get during the show that you've responded to and acknowledged afterwards, and trying to go through that live video and scroll on Facebook, and then over on Instagram, and then over here, and all these or not Instagram, but LinkedIn, and all of these other places, and trying to get them all responded to is really difficult. So I use Agora
Yes.
Pulse to go in, and as soon as I respond, it goes away. And I don't ever have to go, oh my gosh, did I respond to that one? Did I read that one? Did I answer them? It's passed and moved out.
Right. And yeah, that's a great comment by Martin. It said, must be great to work at a company that produces something you already love. And and hello to Stefan, who
Hey,
of course,
Stefan.
right there it is the one in. I don't know if it's the only person named Julie Riley, but to us it is the one and only Julie Riley.
I think that there's more of me. I've tried to get like the Julie Riley, social handles and stuff, and they're long gone.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure.
So Julie, are there any other like tools you've used? Like, do you find anything that you maybe like as a virtual camera sort of thing that you can bring into StreamYard?
I've used some of them, and quite frankly, I just don't use them as often, because StreamYard is so easy. I have used, Ecamm as a virtual camera sometimes in order to move things around a little bit differently, or I've brought in like the Snap Cam, but I just don't use them as often. I've I will say I've never used OBS. I didn't have a machine that would run it for the longest time. I have a machine that'll run it now, but I just don't want to take up the capacity on the machine, even though it will run it. My poor laptops would they were going to take off, little jet engine there flying away if I tried to run anything like that before. So I don't mess with the virtual cams as much.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point. I always find it fascinating going back to the OBS comment that we'll see people, especially like with the Amazon group of people. Some of these are new live streamers, and they're like, "Oh, well, you can use OBS," and it's like, okay, I get that it's free, but when it's free, a lot of times there's no support,
Mhm.
right? Because it's like a community thing. And if something doesn't work right, there's not like someone you can turn to. Where with StreamYard, you guys are definitely there for the community. I remember when they first came out with, and people may not even know this. So when they first came out with the ability to upload video clips and play them, you know, separate from what's in the brand folder, there was a very odd glitch that Chris and I found because we were playing around with it to do some stuff for a presentation. We let them know, and within a couple of days they fixed it. But they got right back to us. Where I think with some of these others, like, oh, we're going to have to do a new software release, and
Yep.
we'll get to it when we get to it. So, that's what I think I love about StreamYard. Is that it does make it easy so that we don't have to think about like, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't work? And I think the other thing you guys do a great job of, right? It's like almost like a StreamYard commercial, is you test this stuff before you release it to the
Yes.
public. It's better to have it work right up front
Mhm.
than rush something just because that's what people want. And I think sometimes, that's where people, the three pillars, right? Ease of use, stream stability, professional looking streams.
Mhm.
People like say, oh, well, I want it to be able to do this and do that. Well, there are tools that you could do this stuff with. I don't always feel like it fits into those three pillars for
Right.
some of the things that people ask for. And I'm just, because we figured out how to do overlays that will, play while they're doing it. It goes back to, you got to make that effort if you want to do it. And
Mhm.
it's already out there. So, but yeah. Tim, what are some of your favorite tools for live video?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, StreamYard, of course. I really use StreamYard for the majority of projects I do for clients. And in the live streaming courses I teach StreamYard. I do like to use wave.video
Ooh,
for
that's a good one.
creating intro and outro videos and things like that. And even just short clips to help promote shows. I love that as well. We also use Calendly and Google Calendar to book guests, which makes that process so much easier. Yes, Snapcam.
Yeah, I'm glad you said
don't.
Calendly, because that's the same one that I use actually for my show.
Oh, awesome.
And for booking. I didn't even think about that one. But yeah, it makes it so easy because you can have the dates pre-selected, the times. So then they're not picking a
Yes.
random date and time. You can
Mhm.
have questions you want them to fill out and answer.
Oh yeah, that
Exactly.
I think for us that was I don't know if I'd call it a game changer, but it's pretty close. Would you say, Tim, that it's just
Definitely
made
a
it so
time
easy for
saver.
yeah.
Then you don't have to go back and forth in email. They can just, the guests can
Yes.
just fill out the questions, the answers to, whatever information, their bio, they can upload a headshot, all the things. So that's a
Yeah.
big time saver.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I know there's other calendar programs, but so far I think that's a good one. Yeah, I love StreamYard. I think uh, I will use Ecamm sometimes, as Julie said, as a virtual cam. But I would say, and I know it's probably like maybe it's on the roadmap, maybe not. Um, if StreamYard were to able to do the things that Ecamm does, that would be like StreamYard would like just completely own the space. It's that simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And but I get it. It's in because we've had Gage on. It's in the cloud. It's not software,
Mhm.
but that's part of the beauty of it. Like your computer. Mac people can relate to this. You're not hearing your fan going at 100 miles an hour like you
So
do
what I
with
said,
some
my,
other
my computer was going to take off. It was its own
right.
little jet engine.
Right. But yeah, and then I've also used Prezi.
Oh,
Uh, Prezi can
yeah.
be used within StreamYard also if you want to get some different looks and be able to put things in places that you want to as well. So some of it is just be a mad scientist and but those are yeah I love the tools you talked about. Wave is another great one and in fact, StreamYard and Wave are both going to be sponsors of a place we'll all be in a couple weeks from today, and that's at Social Media Week, Lima, not
Oh my
Lima,
gosh. Real
and
people.
I
real
know.
people. Yes,
I
so
can't
that's going
wait.
to be very, very exciting. And so, Julie, we got one final question
Okay.
for you. What are some tips to overcome the fear of going live?
Yes, I love this one. This is one of my favorite questions. So I've spoke a lot of teaching social media, and that's one of the things we talk about is you have to go live, and we always get the objections and the fears. So I say the first thing is practice. Go create a Facebook group on Facebook that is empty and has nobody but you in it. Start going live in there. Start talking just like you're talking to the audience. Figure out, okay, am I looking in the right place? Am I looking up here because I thought the camera was up here after I watch it back? Am I looking down here? Where am I looking? Where am I getting my positioning in my body? Do I like what I see behind me? Do I need to adjust that? Do I like how I look and how I feel? And you'll start to get more comfortable. Some of the other things are then after you've kind of gotten a couple practice runs, then start to bring in some friends, some family, some people you trust, and invite them to go live with you. Start with that smaller audience, and then you can build it up before you go out and go, okay, I'm ready to get out to the big wide world, and whoever comes on type of the deal. Because that can be really nerve wracking to go, I don't know who I'm talking to. Then create that plan and that strategy so you don't get on camera and go, I was going to talk to you guys today about going live on Facebook. And so we're going to talk about, and so you're kind of like getting stuck because you froze and you've gone, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Have a list with bullet points next to you. Here's the thing, guys, it's live. And we all know it's live. And we know that sometimes I'm going to look down at the comments. You're going to see my eyes dart down there because I need to see them. But the other thing that's sorry, kid interruption.
It's all good.
It's live. It happens.
It's live, right?
So some of the other things that you can remember is have a list of bullet points next to you and be like, okay, next we're going to talk about the fear of going live and how to overcome that. And then you can look down at your next bullet point or have it on another screen or even another tab. I have a show where we have a run of questions and I flip back and forth between the tab and the show because then I'm still looking straight ahead and nobody knows I've flipped to another tab I just am not seeing myself at that moment. I'm seeing what I'm reading, but I'm still looking directly ahead. But it's okay as well if looking down is where you need to be. You know, that's some of those
Yeah.
things that I think we critique ourselves too much and go, I have to be perfect and I have to have this. Guys, this is not a 5-minute scripted, pre recorded, edited YouTube video. It's live. And when those things are happening that are live, when the kid interrupts you and you're like, sorry, kid interruption, it's summer, he's home. It makes it real and authentic, and it makes you genuine and not a robot, because we're not. We're humans. We're not robots. So
Right.
don't be a robot. And talk to the hand. Yep. Get back. I love that. Exactly. I'm like, go away. I normally have a light on. I think my light burned out. So I have one of those, like, I have a red light that I have outside
Oh,
my door, and it must have gone out. But these are these things that'll get you more comfortable. Some of the others are, make sure when you have your talking points, when you get on camera, get right into the meat of your show. So I remember the very early days of live video, and I will fully admit that I am guilty of this, is the getting on and going, okay, so we're live. I don't see anybody on yet, so I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get on and to come in. Let me know that you're here, so we can start talking. The thing is in your early days of going live, you may not get anyone on, and if you've spent your whole show waiting for somebody to get on, you never got to the point. And at the end of the day, the majority of your viewers are going to be replay viewers. Always. You're going to have more replays than you are live. So jump right in to what you're talking about, because if you're telling your replay viewers, hey, we're going to wait for more people to get on live, they're going to be like, I'm bouncing. I don't want to sit here and figure out when they're going to actually get started with the show.
I think that's so important, Julie. That is just such an important point. It's almost like if we were on TV, right? When the
Mhm.
TV news or whatever goes on, it's kind of like action, right? When you hit that go live button, you got to go. So that's why in our case, we use an intro video. I know some people use countdown timers,
Yeah.
but my personal thing about countdown timers is if I got to sit there and watch a clock count down, I may say, like, I'm not waiting. I'm gonna go do something else. I don't want
Yeah.
to wait. But with the video, it's a little bit more exciting, builds the energy up. Um, I really don't get when these people are doing like 3 to 5 minute countdown timers, because I feel like, one, I get that they're like hoping more people are going to show up
Mhm.
live, but I think it goes back to, if you get enough people showing up live in advance, or they know about it, they'll show up. But as much
Yeah.
as you want to interact with the audience, unless you're a solo show, like in our case, if nobody had showed up, we know that the three of us are going to have a great conversation,
Yep.
and we're going to probably have more well, we will have more replay viewers. That's just the nature of the beast, because our time isn't always convenient to everyone else's time.
Right.
So I think that's a great point, because I think you get more nervous if you're sitting there waiting for people to show up
Oh
and
gosh.
thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm a failure." You start getting all these thoughts in your minds
Mhm.
that nobody likes me, so they're not coming to watch my show. I think that's a great point. And I know for me, I'll go back to saying it, and I know Tim hears me say it from time to time. If you're uncomfortable speaking, you know, Toastmasters, especially now,
Yes.
has been doing a lot of things on Zoom. So that's going to give you a chance to practice being on live video, and having people give you some feedback as to how you did. They won't necessarily do it while that, but it's about putting in those reps. I mean, I've lost I've lost track, only because I got to go look at the spreadsheet, how many shows Tim and I have done together, and all of us have also done other shows on other
Mhm.
people's as well. And I think you get a little bit more comfortable every time. Doesn't mean you're not going to be nervous,
Oh no.
but I think you can get rid of some of the nervousness by, to your points of, writing a script, having, doing your homework, right? Don't show up unprepared. That's, I think, when you make more mistakes, when you don't prepare
Mhm.
in advance. And that's where, like Tim's point, Calendly, right? Have the questions in advance. You knew before you got here couple days in advance what we were going to ask. It wasn't like a surprise. Now there are some people that do that, but then that sometimes you're not going to get a great answer as well. But yeah, Tim, do you have any fears that you've overcome, or any advice on that?
I think I'm just thinking in terms of like when I go on other people's shows, or even when you're hosting your own live show, if you can let the guests know, right? Like before the show, we let Julie know what the run of show is. Like, right, there's going to be a title card, there's going to be an intro video, then we're going to be on the screen, right? Because I've come on other shows sometimes where the host didn't let me know what the format was going to be. So like right now we're in this layout in StreamYard, right, Julie, where there's the big, you're highlighted right now. Yeah. And then we're smaller. Sometimes you'll come on a show and it's like right down the middle and you're like, it's right in your face, like you're right there, right? So it's good to prepare your guests, in terms of like, what's the layout going to be? What's actually going to be seen behind them, right? Because you might have something to the side that you might not want people to see, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, so this has been an amazing conversation. We have the queen of social media for StreamYard, Julie Riley. So excited that and it's nice to have a friend at StreamYard, right? To someone that we know we can talk to.
Yes, and anytime.
She can't tell us everything because there are new things coming, but at least once that stuff comes out, she can definitely let us know those things. And so, Tim, do you know who our guest is next week?
I do. Our guest is Cassandra Jolliffe, and she will be talking about live streaming, your new chief marketing officer, purposed for more. So we're excited to have her on next week's episode.
Very cool. Well, so Julie, I know we had shared earlier, and I'll run the ticker one more time. So next week, or the best way to get a hold of Julie, or to connect, I should say, is she's at Social Jules ICT everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. I managed to, that one was unique enough, and I managed to snag that on all the platforms.
Very cool. And so make sure to follow Julie. If you want to if you don't have StreamYard, contact one of us. We'll be happy to get you started with that. And
there's a good promo this week. This is a good week to get it.
Oh, that's right. There's a lifetime deal, right?
Yes. Well, it's an annual subscription, but it's a lifetime savings on that annual subscription. So every year when it would renew, it wouldn't then jump up to the full price. You would continue to get that savings. And it's over $100 off on the basic plan and $160 off on the professional plan, on the annual plan. So it's a really great time to jump in and get that.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Tim, do you have any final comments? I know we're going to do something a little different here at the end today.
Any final comments? Well, thank you, Julie. This has been an amazing show.
Thank you.
We're really looking forward. Love you too. And Jim, I know you wanted to mention there's something going on tonight, right?
Oh, yes. One last time, head to dealcasters.live at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight over on Amazon. We're going to have the Ross Brand book launch. Ross Brand will be there. Tim will be there. And several other folks that are in the book, including myself. We're very honored to be a part of Ross's new project. Like we said earlier, he's been a big part of the StreamYard community. And I know he's actually how Tim and I learned about StreamYard. He's also how I learned about Amazon influencers. So Ross has always done great things for others. So, we figured the least we could do was to have a show celebrating his book on Amazon tonight at 6. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll give away a few books for people that show up on there as well. And I don't know, Tim, maybe we'll bring some books to Lima and autograph them for people.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So Tim, did you want to talk about our last sponsor, and we'll do the as we close out?
Yes, we have another sponsor for the show, a brand new sponsor. Her name is Dorothy Odell, and she has a course coming up. And I believe we have a video to play right now.
Yeah, so we're going to play this video, and that's going to sign us off the show. So thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you all next week. And have a great rest of the week, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Graham-Odell, and I am the Overcomer Coach. And I have an amazing 10-week program starting July 29th that if you are one of those people that have limiting beliefs or self-doubts or want to create that roadmap from the life you have to the life you want, this will be for you. We're also going to put a self-care program in place, and you're going to get a self-care package delivered to your door. If you'd like some more information or to register, go to www.unstoppableovercomers.com. Hope to see you there.